Sometimes in life, guys, things don't work out great. Most of the time it works out decent, if not good. But every once in a while, it works out perfect. Check this out, guys. Welcome back to another episode of Broke From Here, guys. This episode's gonna be a big one. It's gonna be a lot getting done. I think I mentioned in the last episode, we have to work on the Mrs. car. She is getting a misfire. I believe it's on cylinder 3. And honestly, I've never done the spark plugs in this, so I think it's just time to do spark plugs. And maybe it's a coil, but I don't think it's anything too serious. The next thing, I was able to get the Passat home, and what I didn't film was actually last night, Sunday, we went up to get this car and I decided to change the air filter. I think I showed you in the last episode that when someone got in here last time, they never put this grommet back on. The guy told me he tried to clean the mass airflow sensor, and based on the grommet was stuck open. I think that's probably why we were running lean. But then, as I had pulled this off, I could see where the air filter was sitting. It was kind of sagging, as if it was just kind of like punched in there. So I think he tried to change his own air filter and did it wrong. And there was just no actual drag from the filter. So between that leak and this leak, I think the mass airflow was just pumping in gas and why we were getting misfires. Again, I'm always hoping. But I really do think, because I drove 30 minutes at about, I don't know, 78 miles per hour with no problems. I mean, shifting, going up and down hills, coming back onto the streets. There's a little hesitation on the lower end, like shifting from first to second or second to first, but it's not horrible. So I do think we probably still have an evap leak. So that is my goal of what we're gonna tackle today, is I'm gonna try to pressurize the system and see if I can hear any air coming out. And then the last thing that I need to do is actually gonna be the first thing, is the Mustang. So if you're new to the channel, you probably weren't here, but I ended up changing the water pump on this Mustang, I don't know, probably 4 or 5 months ago. And I never noticed it until I actually had to jumpstart someone probably a couple weeks back. But this pulley wobbles, and it made me nervous because I don't want it to cut and wear out the belt. I don't want it to snap. I don't want it to break the brand new water pump. And I think I've been rocking it for at least 1,000 miles or so like that. So I ended up going down to the junkyard. I bought another pulley, and this is actually the new pulley. And I found out that it's still wobbling. So upon that procedure, I found that actually the mounting bracket for this pulley on the water pump chipped and kind of knocked back just a little bit, but that's enough to create a pretty decent wobble at, 1,000 revolutions per minute. My goal right now is, this is actually gonna be the first thing we fix. I'm gonna start it up. I'm gonna show you that wobble so you can see the belt kind of drift back and forth. And then I'm gonna take this apart. I'm gonna try to straighten that mounting bracket out, and then I'm gonna JB weld it to the center rod. Hopefully that's enough. I mean, that's all I'm gonna do. I'm not gonna go crazy, because either way, it's either gonna work or this water pump's gonna break or it's gonna break again. But that's the best I'm gonna do. I don't wanna replace the water pump again immediately 5 months after replacing it. So that's my goal for this. So that's where we're gonna start. We're gonna do this. Then while that JB weld is drying, we're going to tackle the Dodge and get all the misfires fixed, hopefully. So yeah, guys, that's it. Let's get at it. All right, so it's the next day. I never got the chance to touch the VW. I ended up changing all the spark plugs in the Challenger. I still have a misfire in cylinder 3. I switched around the coil packs to make sure that it wasn't a coil pack issue, but it's still pretty rough sounding. I'm almost positive it's a lifter issue at this point. So what I'm gonna do next is, shout out to Robert actually, I'm gonna take some B12 chem tool and just pour it in the oil, let it run for like 10 minutes. I think they have hydraulic variance lifters in them. So I'm hoping it's just a stuck lifter. I did use seafoam in the past and it cleared up the noise. It might not this time, it might be too late, but we're gonna try. But for now, the VW, I mentioned I was gonna try to do a compression test on this, and I went and bought a bunch of parts from Home Depot, and unfortunately I couldn't find anything that actually fit to block the tubes. So this is a cheap little gel bottle that I got from my local convenience store, and I'm just gonna drill a hole in it, and then I'm going to put a valve stem in it, and I'm just gonna use the bottom of a spray paint can to block the other end of the tube. So that's the goal. Right now I am going to take off the inlet from the intake and take off the, well, it's already off, but I'm basically gonna secure these down and try to pressure test this. I'm gonna try to put it up to about 15 PSI, just see if I can hear any leaks anywhere around the system. If I can, great. If I can't, then it should be solid. So yeah, let's get at it. All right, so it's 2 days later now. Yesterday was kind of a dud, but I don't think I ever explained about the Mustang. It ended up being that the water pump rod that came out actually warped and bent. So the whole thing is completely bent at this point. So we're just gonna send it until it doesn't go anymore. But today, I've been looking at this hatch and I wanted to try to do some body work, but honestly, after the Pathfinder, I'm a little worn out on it. So what I'm gonna try to do is try to go find a replacement for this thing at the junkyard. I've seen that there's 3 hatches there, or 3 Passat wagons at the junkyard right now, 3 silver ones, but this has a certain color, so I'm not sure. There might be one that has it, but I don't think the other 2 do have it. Fingers crossed, we're gonna go down there, try to get it. I was going to take my little garage on wheels. Unfortunately, this thing is so big, I can't even fit it like with the seats down in the Mustang. So I'm gonna have to take this actual car. It was running a little rough the other day. I got it to run decent to get it home, but I'm a little nervous. It's about a 20-minute ride to the junkyard. But if I get it, I'm gonna take it off and install it right there and bring this one back for a core, maybe even try to sell the window to the window guy. I'm also gonna try to get a mass airflow sensor. That's good, hopefully. Again, I also need some headrests for the back, just little things to kind of complete this car. But overall, it's pretty much done. It's not that hard of a car to fix. I just got really lucky. So that's it, guys. Let's get at it. All right, so we were able to make it down to the junkyard, grab the hatch, and then bring it all the way back and start installing it. Now, last night when I was installing it, unfortunately, I got the lighting wrong and it was just a giant shadow. So instead of wasting your guys' last 30 seconds or so, I decided I would just skip ahead. Sometimes in life, guys, things don't work out great. Most of the time it works out decent, if not good. But every once in a while, it works out perfect. Check this out, guys. After installing this last night, look how perfect of a paint match that is. I can't even believe, you're never gonna tell. You're never gonna be able to tell that this was a totally different trunk lid. So it came out great. Now, the next thing I wanna do is I'm gonna wrap this up. I'm gonna try to take off this tint. It just makes it look really just cruddy looking. So I'm gonna take off the tint, and then the next goal, what I wanna do is I wanna try to start vacuuming this thing up. Some of the bad news about yesterday was I wasn't able to get a mass airflow sensor. It seemed like every 1.8T, especially around this year range, they were all yanked out, every single one of them. The other thing was I couldn't get a hood strut, which I wanted as well. And because I couldn't get the mass airflow sensor, I didn't wanna get one of the balancing bearings along with the belt, just because I had to order the mass airflow sensor anyway. So I ordered that last night. I ordered the hood strut last night, which was crazy because it showed up about 2 hours ago already. So I already have that. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna install this, then tackle the tint, probably clean up all the goo, install the plastics back on the rear door, and then start vacuuming this a bit. All right, guys, let's get at it. All right, guys, I think that's gonna wrap up another episode of Broke Premiere. I just wanna say thank you to all the new subscribers. Seriously, I appreciate everyone that's new here, and of course, everyone that's been here. Also, if you guys haven't yet, if you could hit that like button, it really does help me out with the YouTube algorithms. And what's crazy yet is even with all the new subscribers, we're actually back up to 67% of you that are still not subscribed. So if you haven't yet, make sure to go down, hit that subscribe button, click the notifications bell. This way you get alerted every time that I put out a new flip video. I realize I don't think I'm actually gonna vacuum the car. I still have to get rid of the back hatch, and this is the only car that the hatch actually fits in. So I'm not gonna vacuum the car until I get rid of that. But if you guys see, this hatch came out amazing. I mean, just perfect fit. I'm so pleased with the outcome. If you look, the interior part fit up all really nice as well. I mean, you would not know this has been replaced. I'm so pumped with how good it came out. So yeah, I'm gonna wait to vacuum the car until I get rid of the hatch. I'm actually gonna try to sell that rear windshield to the window guy that did the Pathfinder windshield. So hopefully I can sell it, make some bucks next week. And then come Monday, we should have the mass airflow sensor in. We should also have, I got a replacement tensioner and belt. I've been hearing a little whining, little whistling in the front end, and both of those look to be shot. So we're gonna be replacing that next episode. And then I think that's it, guys. It's just gonna be vacuum, a quick wash. I'm gonna buff the top of this. Is the only part that's a little rough on here. It looks like the clear coat could use a little love, bring back to life. But I think that's it, guys. I think by the end of next week, this thing will be listed for sale. In the meantime, I'm gonna be looking for a new flip. All right, guys, until next time, hope you have a wonderful rest of your week. Later, guys.